Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video, we're not going to be taking a look at the solstice. I have taken a look at the solstice in a few different ways over the past couple of videos, so we're going to look at something a little bit different today. We are going to take a look at an event that was suggested by a commenter. If there are any astronomical events, past, present, or future, that you would like to see, all you need to do is let me know, leave a comment here or on my website, queeveenscontent.ie, and I will take a look. This date was given to me in year, month, day format, which makes this nice and easy. And we're taking a look at the planets, Venus and Jupiter. So we're going to leave the sun set. Hopefully Venus and Jupiter are above the horizon. There's Mercury, Saturn, Mars. So if we also have Venus and Jupiter, that's a particularly full sky, a planet parade as it were. We've covered a couple of planet parades in the past, but there is Venus and Jupiter. Now, it looks like we've gone through to the 5th, so let's come back. There we go, they're much closer. I have a sneaking suspicion that this conjunction, it may be a conjunction, it may be an occultation, but I have a feeling that it's going to look better from elsewhere. So let's move forward a little bit in time. They appear to move apart. Moving back in time, they get closer together, which means this is likely going to happen under the horizon for us here in Ireland. So let's see how close together we can make these planets be. Here they come, and this is definitely going to be very close. If not a true occultation, well, there we go. Of course, occultation wouldn't be the correct term here. The term used by the commenter was transit, and normally transits are used for things moving in front of the sun, but I would absolutely consider this to be a transit of Jupiter by Venus, because Venus is transiting in front of the planet. All of Jupiter is visible. Venus isn't large enough to block it out entirely, even though Venus is much, much closer to us. In fact, let's see the distance difference from this perspective. We're looking at both of them very close to them being behind the sun. We can tell by how full Venus looks here. So Venus is over an AU away from us because it's almost on the far side of the sun, just over 1.6 AU. Clicking on Jupiter, it's also on the far side of the sun from us, 6.2 AU. So not quite 6 times, we'll say 3 and a bit times further from us than Venus, and yet Venus still looks tiny by comparison. So that's a very good transit. As I said, it's happening under the horizon for us here in Ireland, under the horizon to the west, pretty far under the horizon to the west. So let's very quickly hop over to a different location on the planet. We want to move back to where these would still be above the horizon at this time. And it looks like, yeah, we're pretty far over. So we need to move to where the sunrise is just happening when it's already, 9 o'clock in January. Strange for the sun to be under the horizon, it seems, given that the sun is still above the horizon at the moment, even at 9 o'clock. We'll turn around here, so as we move across the face of the Earth, we can watch the sun and these planets get closer and closer to that eastern horizon. Now, we will need to go pretty close to the equator as well, just to get things in a good alignment where the sun will be far enough under the horizon for this to be visible, or for this to have been visible, because of course we're looking way back into the 1818 here, way back into the 1800s. So you may notice that there's no light pollution. Of course, there was far less light pollution in the 1800s than there is today. So here's Venus and Jupiter transiting each other, still in transit, yes, still in transit, just as the sun is rising. Now, from this perspective, it looks like Venus is almost over Jupiter. Venus isn't completely enclosed in the circle of Jupiter. There's a little bit poking over the top here. So I believe that's just down to parallax. We are so much closer to Venus than we are to Jupiter that it's not too much of a surprise that that's occurring. It's way easier to get these kind of parallax effects with these closer objects that are in our solar system with us, rather than with stars. Hopefully this will make it easier for us to change location. So let's move back up on the planet a little bit closer to the latitude we're at here in Ireland. Of course, I've unselected them, so I can't simply zoom back to them the way I normally would. They would, I believe, still be under the horizon here. There they go. They're still up in a dark sky, which all skies were back then, still up with enough time, hopefully, for us to watch the transit happen. They go back under the horizon, so I must have deviated a little from the correct latitude. But as you can tell, I'm sure this would have been a tricky transit to catch. But yes, there we go. Venus is a little bit more wholly enclosed by Jupiter now that we're looking at it from a little further north. So definitely a tricky one to catch at its best. And not the only one that was suggested. The same commenter suggested another event involving Jupiter even further in the past. So we're going all the way back here to the 1100s, the year 1170, 1170. So we're very far in the past here. Just to treat all of these events the same, we're going to return to our default location of Ireland, and we're going to bring back the atmosphere and the ground. We are yet again looking for Jupiter, but not Venus. Instead, we are looking for Jupiter and Mars, and there they are. We don't even have to look too hard. Again, this was described as a transit, so I think, now that we've seen the transit of Venus and Jupiter, I think I know what to expect. I am expecting Mars to completely go in front of Jupiter. And Mars, of course, looks even smaller here, both under the horizon for us here in Ireland. That is unfortunate. So Mars is smaller than Venus. If we take a look at the distance we're getting here is 4 AU away. Oh, that is for Jupiter? That's odd. That seems, oh, it must be close to opposition. Here we go. 0.83 AU away. So Mars here is closer to us than Venus was, even though Mars on average is further than us from Venus. Mars here is closer to us than it is to the Sun. And for planets that are further from the Sun than us, that means they must be close to opposition. They must be on the same side of the Sun as we are. So there we go. Mars, the red planet, in front of Jupiter, the giant planet. As we move through time, we can see Jupiter rotating here. Mars, I think, is blocking out the Great Red Spot. Not entirely, but the Great Red Spot is just coming into view, just above Mars there, as the transit completes. Let's pull that back a little bit, and I hope you can see it just there. There's the Great Red Spot. So this is definitely a fantastic transit, yet again, not visible from here in Ireland. So we're going to do the exact same thing. I've removed the atmosphere and the ground. We're looking over here in the northeast, and they're so close to opposition. This has got to be visible from a large portion of the world. So let's see. We'll get our location map up, and we will move again in the same direction. We won't have to move far, I don't think. No, already we're getting very close. There we go, above the horizon, and so close to opposition. We don't need to worry about how close we are to the equator. They're so far from the Sun in the sky that they're going to be visible even when the ecliptic is being seen at quite a shallow angle. We will change latitude for a different reason in just a moment. There we go. There's Mars blocking out Jupiter. Let's bring back the atmosphere and the ground, and it is indeed visible. Of course, through a telescope. With the naked eye, what you would see, I do believe, over the course of this night, if we stay following them, you may see them separate out a little. No, they are so close together that to the naked eye, it would appear almost like one solid object. You would have to look at this over the course of a couple of days to see Mars coming in and transiting Jupiter. Of course, through a telescope, the transit is only happening on the specific day. The transit itself will be pretty short-lived. Very similar to when we took a look at Venus. Here, Mars is just above the bottom of Jupiter. So by changing our latitude, we should be able to take advantage of parallax to change this view a little bit and make Mars appear to be in a slightly different location. If I can only get things to do what I tell them and come up when I put my mouse in the right place. Okay, so we'll keep this over here. We'll reselect Mars so that we're not losing it, and we'll see if we can come down on the Earth a little And there we go, the effect is already occurring as we come down into the southern hemisphere. Okay, let's go all the way to Madagascar. Oh, it went under the horizon. We'll have to go back just a tiny bit the other way. Okay, very, very tricky. This, I don't even know if this would be possible. These exact coordinates may be off the coast of Madagascar, but there's Mars practically passing through the middle of Jupiter, practically level with that equatorial belt, just as it goes under the horizon, presumably just around sunrise. If we pull back, yep, there's the east. Oh, so we were moving in the wrong direction. As the sun comes up, they will disappear from view, but we were moving back in time, so they dropped under the horizon. But this would have been a fantastic place to see it way back in the year 1170. From roughly off the coast of Madagascar, you would have been able to see Mars transiting onto Jupiter, or Mars emerging from the transit of Jupiter, just as Mars and Jupiter rose. So there we go, two fantastic transits of Jupiter by other planets, Mars and Venus. So thank you very much to the commenter who made me aware of these events. If any of you watching this have events that you would like to see past or future, just let me know and we will take a look. If you enjoyed this video, then please do like it. If you enjoy this kind of content, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also read this information on my website, queevinscontent.ie. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.